welcome back. I told you I would be back. Not really all set up, but we're going to take a swing at it anyway. Alright, give me a second here. We've got no intro, so. Alright. Alright, howdy folks, welcome back. I told you I would be back, and it's been a few days, but here we go. Let's start off with today, October 19th, 2024, and I'll let this little loop play. You can see this little round event going on up here. Some other things coming out that look kind of strange. This one right there almost looks like a craft. Same with this thing over on this side as well. So, as a few of you are filing in, I'd like to take a moment to thank you guys for taking a moment of your precious time to be here, be part of this precious family. I think some of you have figured out what I mean by that. My mount's all messed up. It's been a long week, so bear with me. I just don't really feel like doing it, but I'm taking a swing at it anyway. So, let's just get our opening frame here, 024, and hop into the show. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. I see a few people showing up in the chat. Again, thank you for taking a moment of your precious time. Opening frame, October 19th, 024. Let me scooch. And we're going to start clicking away frame by frame. We have our event that's going on up here. Okay, you can see something dark kind of hiding in this little vicinity right here. And then something else going on over here. I don't know if the camera's capturing it. It looks like it is, but we're just going to continue on. You can always come over to this instrument too and check it out. All right, meanwhile, we got like this event going on, long duration, slow motion event, while we got other spits and sputters coming out at different angles. They're all following these little spire lines. Act like compass needles that point at the inbound magnetic field. Right about here is where you can see we have our curvature, a round object hiding in here somewhere. Okay, you can see the plasma coming out, going around it, coming out, turning, going in around a spherical object that's right here. And if we dim this just a tad bit, you see some of the little moons that are trailing along with it. Here, let me scooch this back up there. Or try to get some of the best part of it in there. In the frame. Okay. So right here, you can see one of our medium-sized objects right in this vicinity, round shape, with its little planetoids, little satellites going along with it. Maybe one that got ripped off. Another one that got ripped off going this way. Possibly another one get pulled away and tugged down that direction. Okay, so there's that event. Let's brighten this back up a little bit so I can see here. All right. And what happened to my... There we go. That's a little better. All right, then we have this little event right here. Round object right here. You can see its little V-shaped back. It almost looks like a little UFO, but as we go through this, I'll let you be the judge of it. Whatever it is, there's something there. Looks like it's a little black round spheroid right here with its little V, or its little bow shock built up plasma on the backside as another CME races out to go over it, pushing it on out. Then you can see this. If you tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, you see this whole event right here. Watch as we go through this. Doesn't that almost look like a ship? Almost like the Starship Enterprise or something. think it's right. This frame, where's the ghost image? Right there. Looks like it has some kind of structure in it. Just very odd right there. This looks like two eyes, a nose, and a mouth with teeth. Growling or something. Let's see if we can get that more like that. I don't know, pretty spooky stuff. Wouldn't surprise me with what I've been through this last week. This would be cartoons compared to what I went through this last week. Cartoons, I say. Look like we have them on our little image here. You can come over here and take a look at this. You be the judge of this yourself. But we got to continue on because we got back days to cover too. So as we continue on, don't forget this little vent shooting out down here. All kinds of little stuff splattering out like a shotgun blast. Where are the blue and green red lines? Here, really quick here. The blue color on the difference image indicates the position of the leading edge. Okay, so let me show you. Let's back up a little bit. Let's get a good example here. Great question. All right, here's a good example. You see the difference. This blue line's nice and straight. That's the leading edge of the blast, okay? Now, the red color on the difference image indicates an approximate outline to the leading edge, okay? So there's just the round, bulge, circular arc shape of, said event. But then what the actual plasma dents are and stuff is the red line, okay? And it says right down here, the red color on the difference image indicates an approximate outline to the leading edge that was created using a segmentation technique, okay? And it's quite a good tool because it does paint some of these divots and these objects a lot better, so... Great question. I love good questions like that. So let's continue on. And it also indicates our CME, okay, that there's something there. We have plasma, we have a leading edge, we have a difference line. But some of these look ghostly and, spiritual in nature because everything is. If you only knew. Some of you are figuring it out, though. Okay, here's this little event coming off here to the right. Some trailing moons or whatever, ripping plasma off as they go. All right, so that was today, the 19th. Let me go ahead and put that back into motion. Let it play here. Oh, please, Lord, help me. Just scooch this back over. Let me get these wavy lines out of there. All right, trying to clean this up a little bit. I'm not in true form tonight, and I'm just trying my best. Well, something about tonight when I was just out there doing the prayers before the show. I saw an amazing shooting star, and then a few minutes in my prayer, I see a star lift up over the mountains, and I think, it's just an airplane coming this way. And it's got this red fuzzy haze around it. I started looking at it. It's a rocket launch, probably out of Vandenberg or somewhere in Southern California just a few minutes ago, right before I started the show. I'm like, whoa. So a few little different events going on. I started to make sure it was the only rocket being launched at the time. You know what I mean? All right, so there's that. Let's back up here a little bit. All right, so I haven't been here in the last couple of days. The day we need to check really is the 17th because that's what's going to have repercussions tomorrow on the 20th. It's the 19th right now, so tomorrow will be the 20th. We'll come back to that. But I want to show you the 17th, which we didn't report on because I was not in good form last night, let's just say. Lucky to be alive. Okay, so let this load up for a second. Okay, there's our big event right there. Now, let me just do a little bit of We're too close in, or something happened there. All right, that's a little bit better. Okay, so we had this event here. I wanted to report on this the other night when it happened, and I had everything all set up and pretty like, and then somebody just. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let's try to grab our opening frame, shall we? So 10/17, a couple days ago. Here's our opening frame on the 12th here. You can see this big halo CME right here, okay? See this little planetoid satellite being ripped off of a... this almost looks like something bigger right here. Let's just go through this really quick. Boom, boom, boom. Mainly looks like maybe a medium-sized something in here, but it's hard to tell in this one. But anywho, this is our CME from the 17th that would have any kind of impact on Earth. Oh, look at this. You see this back in here? Do you see the spread? Do you see the way it's spreading out around a spherical object? You can see these waves are spreading out. Damage rings going over, and then right here, 348, right when it's about to like clear the limb here, and you're going to see the roundness of this object right down here, and the plasma screaming over it. They're gone. Look, there's like a partial face or something about to appear too. Then it jumps to 824. Are you kidding me? 3. So I was going to report on that, and I was waiting for just hopefully they'd fill that in, because it's heartbreaking to not have that data. Okay, so there was this event back on the 17th. I'm just kind of going over past days, and this one does count because this is what would be impacting us. Wonder what's going on right there. Guys, seeing any of this stuff in your skies yet? Probably not, because you're too busy looking down. Some of this family looks up, though. I've seen your cloud videos and everything, too, so. All right, there's your loop for the 17th that would be affecting the planet on the 20th, okay? 3-day travel time, usually, okay? So, yeah, your head's heavy. I bet it is. Now you know how I feel. You're starting to feel me. That's a bummer. Okay, so let me just stop this right. Oh, well, right before the data jump. All right, so this spread, this bigger object that's back here causing this huge widespread CME, you see the indication all the way down. You see the red line? See this little divot right there? Probably a little satellite, little planetoid getting pulled away, or that's in an orbit. They usually put a little dent in those. Yeah, chemtrails over your town, they're trying to block the radiation from a lot of this stuff. It's more than what you think. They're actually good. Now, this right here, let me just take you somewhere really quick to another image that was captured a couple years back. Let's see if I can pull this one up. I forgot to pull this up. I was going to reference this. Please, Lord, let this work. Favorites in this one. Okay. You see this big round black sphere that goes off the page here? You see the spread of plasma coming right up to the face of it, bending and going over it, and then flaying off the top. Okay, that's what's hiding back underneath here. Okay, if we had the last, the missing frames, we probably would have captured an image much like this one, just with it down below here. Okay, so here's what it looks like when you get a good crystal clear capture of it. And it's ripping plasma right out the sun. Its magnetic field of this interacts with the magnetic field of the sun, and a big spark, almost like a giant spark, but a CME just slams right into this thing and then drapes over it. Okay, and that's what you're seeing down below there is that kind of effect. Yeah. Come on in, bloody critter. Yeah, out of the way. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, thank you for bearing with me there. So back to where we are. You can see that this spread is going around a bigger object. When we go back behind it, you can see the plasma as that object approaches, starting to go and spread around a bigger object back there. And then blink, all of a sudden the whole event is gone until 8:24. Imagine that. Let's just take a peek over at Stereo A on the 17th. Look at that. Let me just grab that opening frame. Okay, now Stereo A, a little older, different angle. Only takes an image every hour, so boom. You can see over here something just totally going on right there, whatever that is. Nice round curvature. See, this event is going on, but at a different angle. See little moons over on this side being pulled away. Don't mind that. That's probably Mercury out there orbiting around. Whoops. All right, so there's the 17th. We can go check the 18th really quick. I don't think there was much for yesterday. Just let that load up. I think it's just a really quick one. This little event right here. Okay, so yeah, not much on the 18th. Slow, long duration event right there, but not really much to write home about. Now let's come on over here to the solar ham. Currently, our solar flux index is at 162. It's down 3 points, so it's been pretty mellow for a while, just up and down little variations. Sunspot numbers in the green at just over 100. We've lost 31 sunspots. Well, you can see why. We just had that big object interact with the sun there and all its satellites. Well, each one kind of creates its own little magnetic field or sunspot figuration or whatever. So areas in the green too. So pretty quiet really lately. Not really. Nothing but chaos and mayhem. But the sun overall has been being pretty good. 3859 right here. Kind of getting close to making that contact point. When it gets over here, closer to this side of the limb is where our magnetic field line hooks up with it. But I don't see much of a threat out of that for a minute. Just taking a peek over on this side, a couple of plaques building. This 3863 will be our new inbound one, and then they're watching this little area too. So, all right, let's back out of that and slide on over here and see how fluxed we are. Goes X-ray flux, that is. Okay, so Here we are. You can see yesterday. We're going into tomorrow right there. A little hump. We can go take a peek at that, but it doesn't look like much. Anyways, we got these 3 little, 4, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians. No, a bunch of little activity going along here. 1, 2, 3, 4 little M flares right there. Okay, so pull back now. All right, so your 3-day geomagnetic forecast, all green. Thankfully, I'll take that all day long. I don't want to see any more geomagnetic energy for a while. But we're going to be getting into the round, so we always, the cycle is just nuts. Oh, yeah, y'all noticed how they announced the solar maximum now? So now we're going into solar maximum. Good. At least they recognize it. X flare potential 10%, M flare 60, so not that big a deal right now. Our 3 M flares were 6.5, a 4.7, and a 4.8. Apparently, the 4.7 caused a type 2 radio blackout, but we'll see what happened there. All right, so over here, the only thing to really report was the other day we had our small little bump here to a G1, but not much. Here it's come down, climbing back up. Not much, though, just to KP4. No beta deltas or beta gamma deltas, just these 2 beta gammas, 38, 56, and 59 that we already showed you. The enhanced solar wind stream that's flowing from a coronal hole is stirring up geomagnetic activity at higher latitudes. The active KP4 conditions is being observed with a chance for minor GEO1 geomagnetic storming at high latitudes, should the BZ remain in the negative territory. The minor G1 geomagnetic threshold was reached, okay, at 252. Okay, a relatively quiet day on Earth. That was yesterday. On the Earth-facing side of the sun on Thursday, and until an M4.8 flare came off the sun at 1938, centered around AR 3854. This region is rotating closer to the west limb, so any potential eruptions at this point should be directed away from our planet. So, little sparkle, crackle, pop right there into your morning, but kind of heading away. Let's open up the tracker and do some tracking since we're lacking the tracking. And maybe it'll open up for us. Please, Lord, could we have this instrument? You know, the one I clicked on? Thank you. All right, here's your latest little CME showing it going away, going behind us. That's good. It doesn't interfere with our magnetic field line at all. A little brush way at the end there, but that's nothing. So, good. Meanwhile, over here, you can see your plasma density kind of just slowly climbing up here and peaking. Instead of a CME, we're getting like the coronal hole stream, but this density is getting, climbing a little bit there. But never know. With that object that induced the CME, we could be seeing an unexpected geomagnetic storm. Well, let's not say unexpected. Let's just say this next G1 that they were talking about could be possibly a little stronger if that bigger object retaining the radiation accompanying it. Here's your auroras. They're pretty dim too, so your KP index is not too strong right now. Somebody was asking me, when's the most dangerous time to stand outside during a solar event? And I said, well, when you see auroras. Yeah. In case you missed it, NOAA and NASA announced that solar cycle 25 has officially reached solar maximum. The next year or so should see some of the highest sunspot and solar flare activity of the current cycle. In other words, you ain't seen nothing yet. All right, you can click here, look at those. This face is all kind of cocked, looking over here. His little eyes, his nose, and the other side of his mouth. He's kind of looking over at these 2 little suns over here. All right, never mind. moving on. That was back on October 16th. That's all diminished and no longer there. So let's move on, shall we? Okay, Solar Max is underway. Let me just take a sip of this. In a joint statement on October 15th, NASA and NOAA announced that the solar maximum is underway. If you saw last week's geomagnetic storm, you'd probably reach the same conclusion. Good news, solar max is not a narrow moment in time. It's a lengthy phase of solar activity that can last 2 or 3 years. Can we rephrase the good news part? Solar max. Good news is solar max is not a narrow moment in time. It's a lengthy phase of solar activity that could last 2 to 3 years of earthquakes and volcanoes. Yeah, good news. The more aurora outbursts are likely in 2024, and all the aurora photographers will get their fill. The night the roads went red in Kentucky. The night the roads in Kentucky turned red, too. The severe geomagnetic storm of October 10th sparked bright auroras over the United States. Photographed by Lindsay Lundquist. Good for her. But we all have similar aurora photos, but you can see that it was so bright that it illuminated the ground pink. And we get sunsets that are so bright pink in the sky that they make the ground and everything look orange and the pavement turn orange and sometimes pink too. But it was a SAR arc, okay? Now, this is a different event right here. This is like an aurora. Here, let's read about it. It was a SAR arc. She says the red glow was reflected in the backdrop of our country road and was extremely bright for how far south. The SAR arcs were discovered in 1956 at the beginning of the space age. At first, researchers didn't know what they were and unwittingly gave them a misleading name, stable auroral red arcs. However, they are not auroras. A red glow comes from the Earth's ring current system. Okay, the night that this happened, we had the strangest sunset that was white clouds with a purple sky behind it. And I wanted to take some pictures of it, but I was in the middle of spiritual warfare. Yes, the Earth has rings. They are made up of electricity, a donut-shaped circuit carrying millions of amps around our planet. I wonder what causes that donut-shaped circuit. Could it be the core rotating inside the shell, the little dynamo inside that propagates out the magnetic field? It's in a donut shape called a torus, okay? A torus field. And the Earth has rings, and they're made of electricity, a donut-shaped circuit carrying millions of amps around our planet. And on October 10th, the severe geomagnetic activity overheated the ring current, and some of that heat leaked into the upper atmosphere, producing a red glow. We had purple where we were at. It was pretty different. I thought it was just a dark sunset or something, but it was like wasn't the clouds turning purple. It was the sky turning purple. The clouds were all white. And I was like, what the heck is that? I should have grabbed some photos, but you can come over and read more about it. Let's get over to the Schumann, shall we? Okay, as you can see, nice continuity, smooth, solid green line. That's what we like to see. You can see these little lower frequencies up here. We're starting to have a little scraping going along the top right here in these lower bands right before you hit the 7.83. So there is a little grinding going on behind in the scenes, but it's not much. You remember when you used to have a bicycle that had the, hand brakes that squeezed down on the rim, and say they were just a tad too tight and they're just scraping the rim just a little bit. You have them too close. So it is scraping along just a little bit, but we're still relieving pressure. There's not a bunch of pressure down below. We did see some decent earthquake activity in the last few days that did relieve a lot of pressure. Okay, we've seen some big volcanic blasts in the last couple of days too that relieved a lot of pressure. Some big volcanic blasts in my life, big earthquakes in my life. Okay. Help me, Lord. How do I tell them this? Let's just start with this area right here where this blue ribbon is. This is your intertropical convergence zone where the air from the northern hemisphere collides with the air from the southern hemisphere. The problem is this intertropical convergence zone is supposed to be down here at the equator. Okay? We got air coming from the southern hemisphere up into the northern hemisphere up to that latitude right there. You see it? And it's not just that side. We come over here. Oh, look at that. Right here at this line, air's coming up, hitting this, reaching that latitude right there in the southern hemisphere. Let me pull back a little bit and you can see how it fans out and kind of creeps up past the equator. Over here, still doing the same thing. Now we've got rotation here off the India, like throwing stuff in there. So that's just your intertropical convergence zone that has shifted. A lot of people have noticed that the moon is setting a little further north. Well, if we took this line right here, I wish we could get, how we get the glitch thing, Lord? Can we double click and get it to, no, don't double click. Anyways, if you could take this and pull it down to this line down here to the equator, the whole planet is shifted like that. Maybe not the whole planet, but the intertropical convergence zone sure did. And there you can see. And when it collides with that upper air, causes rotation. See this little rotation going on out here? Probably good thermal area right around there, helping induce that as well. Boy. Now let's get on over. I got to get a little higher off the ground. All right. Now there's our vortex. This is like, I'll just let that sit there and speak for itself. Yeah. Just lashing Great Britain, Ireland, Europe, the whole British Isles, the whole area. That's a nasty storm. Look how big it is. Looks like a northern hurricane. Anyway, let's look around. There's another one right there. Big old storm rotating around. Big old. All right, let's come on over and put the sandstorm on. Lord help me, please, particles. Boy. Bear with me. Just swinging away. Swing it at it. All right, as you can see, our huge sand plumes, thankfully, in the last couple of days have extended way off of the African coast, clear over here to almost the outskirts of the islands right here. So that's good, covering the Atlantic right there. Meanwhile, coming back this way, you can see Saudi Arabia, this area filling in densely with sand. Pretty good storm density right there. Patch over here, but the Gobi Desert's not as intense right now. Okay, so there's your sandstorms going on right now. Looks like this thing is still there. It's just calmed down a little bit. You can still see something still lingering there, but it's not as pissed off. All right, there's that. Moving on. Now we got to come over here to our SO2. This is sulfur dioxide, not carbon dioxide, okay? Big difference. This is sulfur, like comes off of the magma down below. Basically, vaporized magma, okay? There are pores in the ground, so so loose that the gas comes up through them. All right, here's your country divided, bleeding out on one side, perforations in the crust on the other. Okay, the soil on this side is very spongy, very loose, can be perforated pretty easily. Lava wants to come up through these, but it can't because they're so small that only the gas can make it through. Meanwhile, over on this side, we have perforations in the granite mountains, granite hillsides, a lot of thick, rocky, mountainous area over here. So it's all perforations in the crust. And when the gas comes out, sometimes it comes out so hot that it sparks fires. Okay. Last time I was reporting, we had a big little batch of fires going on out here with our latest thrust of pressure that came up. Okay. Lately, it seems to have diminished. You can see a little bit of activity going on up here in Canada, though, right in that little spot. Right in there, that's for sure. Okay. So pressure kind of shifted up to here for a little bit, and same with the fire activity. It was creeping down down California. We still got SO2 emissions, but the fire activity is kind of diminished for right now, which is good. I don't see much else. Go ahead and take off the fires now and continue our globe trotting. As we look, you see Mexico has a lot of perforations, SO2 emissions coming out of its ground. Cuba as well, Jamaica as well. All of these islands just bleeding SO2. Okay. The northern part of South America, all the way down its west coast. Even here at the fulcrum point, we're going to pop in really quick. Well organized, nice dark purple spot here, very intense plume at the fulcrum point. The other four, well, this one's more intense, so there's a little uptick in it, and that one's more intense. This middle one seems not to be there, like faded away. But our latest new one, the fifth one, is definitely there. So 4 out of 5 have kind of increased. I think maybe we have a little stronger emissions here, is decreased pressure right there, transfer of pressure. When you got a path of least resistance right next door, it's easier to take that than, out of a smaller opening. So as we creep on down, there's the west coast, dark activity. It actually lightened up through this region. It used to be dark purple. But as we can see, you know what? This doesn't look at our correct time. Oh, it is. All right, so you can see a little lightening up in this area, but we still have a good SO2 plume that's come off from the winds, taking it out into the Pacific. Okay, let's stop off in Hawaii for Mai Tai and get laid. The flowers that go around your neck. There's Oahu with its SO2 emissions. We got a couple other islands still SO2 emissions. Earthquake activity at Hawaii as well. And volcanic activity there off and on too. Okay. Adjust for their time. 8 hours. All right. As you can see, pretty strong emissions, not as dark as usual, so it's kind of lightened up. We had our little round of pressure back a couple of days ago. We had our earthquakes and some big volcanic blasts that relieve a lot of pressure. And our SO2 emissions they're still there. They're very intense, but they've lightened up a little bit. So here's Japan, volcanic island system in itself. So we have SO2 emissions out of that. Then here's Taiwan, one of the fulcrum points on our plate boundary system, and it emits SO2 as well and relieves pressure. When we don't have earthquake activity here, we see stronger SO2 emissions to relieve the pressure instead. So kind of a 1-2 thingy there. As well as down into the Philippines, you see all these islands have an SO2 emission. Is that a moose? The moose is on the loose. Geez, Java sure is purple. The purple island of Java, everybody. This island has a lot of SO2 emissions. It probably smells like rotten eggs all over that island. But this is one of our relief valves on the plate boundary system. It has earthquakes. Here we have a couple of volcanoes that constantly go off every day. Okay, and strong SO2 emissions all the way down the island chain. Okay, going up through Sumatra. Sumatra's offshore islands now having SO2 emissions as well. Okay, so it looks like in this region, there's still some pressure going on. We have some pretty strong SO2 emissions coming out of there, and it's out of Australia too. All right, we come over here. Here's Fiji in our deep quake region, okay, and they're having SO2 emissions out of those two islands. And then we have this little island, our little boat-shaped island right here with our two SO2 emission sites. This acts like a slow leak in a bicycle tube. It relieves pressure when it comes in the valve stem, right? So if you're pumping pressure into the beginning of the system here, like right where the valve stem is, and you have a leak right next door, well, not a lot of pressure is going to continue. It's going to weaken the pressure that continues on down the chain. Kind of deadens it a little bit, takes the blow a little bit. Now, let's go on over to our ocean sea surface temperature anomalies. Now, this is going to start changing up because we're getting into our transition season, but we see hot spots here off the coast of Australia. We come over here to Java. Remember, Java was purple, so that's a lot of SO2 coming out of there. There's starting to be a little bit of cold water along the shore, but right offshore here is an emission site. So maybe this is relieving some of the pressure in the area, a new site that's opened up, creating a huge heat plume right off the, in between Java and Australia. Meanwhile, we have this long straight line feature that's opened up there. A couple of spots here around Africa. Of course, this whole thing around the bottom of the Earth right there, going up through there. Okay, out here on our Atlantic. See the mid-Atlantic ridge? Going right up through there. That's been there for a while now. Just kind of show you. Let's put that right. Let's put it right there. And we'll come over. This is days. So we're going to go back a few days and just watch this mid-Atlantic ridge. This is where the zipper of the Earth is right here. So the last few days, here we go one a day at a time. Strange how that feature has just stayed there until back on the 5th, where it starts to go away. All right, so over the course of the last week or so, it's cool water, not hot. It's a cooler water that's maybe coming up from inside the crust, different strata, but that's our, whoops, not our latest one. Yeah, there's our latest one, is right there. And it seems to be kind of dissipating a little bit. But meanwhile, we still have these hot pockets up in this region, warmer water up in there. Look at this cold water patch that's built off of the coast of South Baja California. We're at the end of summer and going into fall when the sun has been hitting this the whole time, and now we're having some of the coldest water in the world. Look at the coloration right here. Some of the coldest water in the world is coming out of Baja California. It almost looks like water from a different strata is coming up through different perforations. Could possibly be as well. Meanwhile, since we last looked, this whole triangle structure has grown a big comet tail that's reaching back to this Tamumasi structure too. And that's very intense. There's white in there. There's little spots of white in there. Just let me really quickly pull up your color chart, white being the hottest. And we got a couple of wavy lines right there. Well, a little bit better. So we have that. And we have this cold water. Now we're going to go ahead and put the winds on. And you can see how this heat signature is controlling our weather patterns. Okay. Hot air forming over hot water, cold air over colder water. When that hot air rises, cold air moves in to replace it, causing rotation, a vortex effect. Okay, and you can see the different changes on the ocean floor, translating to the ocean surface, have changed the wind patterns and weather patterns here around the country. Still, we're seeing stuff that in the northwest that's going up through this area here, but the rest is being turned away, going down the coast and going back out. All right, so it's just for that one little funnel area right through here. Well, you can see a little bit creeping up in there, but this whole area right here has like this big round circular hedge of protection around it. Meanwhile, you can see our weather patterns over here are being induced by this heat signature and its conveyor belt type structure. Okay. One of the saving graces is a lot of this is coming into this area, whipping around and going into the Pacific. Let's pray that anything that whips up right here, you see this rotation starting to form over land right there. No, because I don't put it in the right spot. There we go. That almost looks ready to start up a storm right in that region, but it would blow it down into the Pacific. So let's hopefully kind of maintain that little weather feature right there. Meanwhile, you can see we got this going around out here. Kind of, if it gets pulled into this, it might go up through that part. Lord, if it gets caught up, this little guy right here gets caught up in this, it could get pulled down or it could go up in there. So we'll have to watch it as it matures. If it matures. Wow. If it matures. Meanwhile, there's your conveyor belt structure. You got your airflow coming right off of Africa, going right across the hot zone right here, pumping right into the Caribbean. So thankfully we have that sand, minimizing our thunderstorm height, keeping our hurricane genesis, subduing it a little bit, actually quite a bit. All right, so there's that going on. Yeah, I see it. It's got blue eyes too. All right, let's move on. I got to take the winds off. That's what I was doing. There we go. All right, we'll leave that around because we're going to do... Hello, Stephen. Welcome. An earthquake report here. So coming on into Fiji, our deep quake region. Checking in with 4.3 down at 552. All right, so there's been some bigger magnitude quake activity at the surface in the last few days. And what I'm just going to kind of do is pop open our 7 days. No, 4.5. Bigger. 4.5 and bigger. Look at this flurry down here along this Izu Trench here off of the Kermadec Islands here. All surface fives. Another 5.2. Let's get in here. 5.2 again. 5. Another 5. So a lot of fives right here. That's a lot of energy being scrubbed at the surface. And these are also... mid-range 4s, 4.8. So a lot of energy got scrubbed during this event right there. And we don't see a lot of activity along this usually. Okay, every once in a while we'll see a deep quake and it'll rattle off one or two. But right above this quake swarm was another one with 5, not a quake swarm, but over the course of the week we had 5.6, 5.1, 5, 1, another 5 there. So some quake activity in that region, relieving stress all along this plate boundary right here. Again, up here, another 5.2. So a lot of activity being relieved along this plate boundary, which is a little different change up there. We also had a 5 here. Usually this area has been quiet lately, but there was a 5 there, a 5.3 in that region. So all through this area has been quite busy this last week with some 5 activity and mid-range 5s. Right here's another 5 down at 51. You come up here, there was another 5.1. And then over here at Taiwan, this is what I want to check. This fulcrum point right here at Taiwan relieves a lot of energy in this whole region. It's important that we still have, quake activity here, relieving energy. 5.1 down at 21, 4.8 down at 35, and a 4.6 down at 39, all fulcrum point quakes right there, relieving energy in that region, regulating pressure. What was the other one I wanted to talk about? Over here. Over here at Turkey, come here, Turkey. We had a 6.0, and that was at the surface, okay? Scrubbing energy at the surface here over at Turkey, just above the Holy Land, or just right off of the Holy Land here. And we have this fulcrum point that comes in very sharp, like a jagged piece of glass that comes in like a shard, a little needle type structure that comes right in and turns around. Well, you can see there's another plate boundary over here going up through there. There's a transfer going across from here to this plate boundary. You can see fault structure through that whole region. If you can't, now look. Okay, all through here is all faults, all little structures, and bingo, at the surface to 6.0. We got to watch this region now. This little zipper in between the fulcrum point of this plate boundary and the end of this plate boundary right there. So that little zipper area right there, we got to watch. They even had a 4.5 up there earlier too. All right, enough. Let's get back to our regular daily quakes. 1 day, all magnitude, please. So back to today, we had this one. We checked. It was a 5.1. Now over here off of Sumatra, nothing around Java. It's all SO2 and volcanic emissions. But over here off of Sumatra, we had this 4.7 down at 57. Remember on the thermals, I showed you these. Well, I didn't. Where's that island at? Oh, it's actually calmed down. So we had these islands right in a row. There was a hot spot that was growing right up here. And now it's missing. Now it's gone. Wonder why. Maybe this earthquake relieved a bunch of the pressure in the region. No fulcrum point there. There's a fulcrum point quake. 4.2 down at 63. Very thick crust in that region. Greece had a 4.8 at the surface, scrubbing energy there today. Plate boundary, 4.9. You know what we do with those here, especially at a depth of 10. Scrubbing energy in that region. All right, fulcrum point. 4.1 down at 110. 4 point something here. We can have it. 4.5 down at 284. 4.6 down at 107. Oh yeah, really quick. Let's go up here. Japan. 4.5. And then finally, fulcrum point quake, but on land here. We also have volcanoes going off here. Let's see the depth of this really. Actually, this is not a fulcrum point quake. At a depth of 194, 4.3 at 194, that's on a volcanic feature, isn't it? That's on the flank of a volcano, isn't it? Yeah. Deep quake activity on the flank of a volcano is an indication of pressure coming up to the surface. Can't vent through the volcano, so it rumbles right on the flank. We're on all magnitude. Are you serious? Okay. So, no microquaking along any of these little islands today, not even a mouse fart. Okay, we get up to the first little one is a 3.5 down at 235. So we're having a little bit of different activity around Alaska here the other day. 3.2. Okay. But right now, pretty quiet. I want to go inside fulcrum 2.1. Coming in for a touchdown or landing here at Juan de Fuca. Now, this is not on the plate boundary. It's not on a fulcrum point either, but it's just off of it. We do have our 3.8 down, or at the surface here at 10. So energy that wanted to, strike right here, probably locked up. You can see there's some other little faults and weak spots, right? Oh, running parallel to those other little weak spots right down below on the surface is your 3.8 there, scrubbing energy at the surface. That's good. When I talk about scrubbing energy at the surface, this term scrubbing, like they use it in racing sometimes. When you're going into a corner and you want to lose a bunch of speed, you can, scrub some speed in the corner by taking it, a little wide, a little sharper, different ways of, cutting your speed down and scrubbing it. That's what they call it. Anyways, 3.0 down at 31 here on our fulcrum point. Scrubbing energy again, just a little bit deeper. Got a fulcrum point quake. That's relieving pressure along the Juan de Fuca here. When we come over to this heat signature map. Hey, no, don't open that. Computer will never work again. As we come over here, oh boy. We have our Juan de Fuca comes out here. Let me get the color a little bit better and get you closer up and personal. Right here, coming off this point, comes out. There's your Juan de Fuca zigzagging up. We had our quake activity just right out here. Hot spot. Then comes in, and now look at this big hot spot that's grown right off the coast of Northern California. We got this little red blob reaching into the Bay Area there a little bit. We could use some quake activity along this region to scrub some of that energy, burn off some of that. Oh my. I hope you guys see that or don't see it. One of the two. Yeah, with the tip of the tongue coming out and being this hot spot right there. Okay. Are these hands reaching out or something right here? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I know what I see. Okay, let's move away from that and go on to our volcano. Sure, let's do volcanoes. Why not? Yeah, been a long week. Volcanoes, Brian. Okay, I got to get rid of some of these instruments. Get this stuff out of here. Bear with me real quick here while we move on from demons to volcanoes. Hopefully most of you didn't see that. I know some of you did. And, well, that's why I take a long time praying before a show. I pray for strength for my audience and courage to endure the knowledge that we're dropping here. Oh boy. So 35 erupting volcanoes, 34 in warning. 69. Come on back. 35 and 34 is 69 volcanoes. There it is. And we're not counting the 25 at unrest. All right. I'm just trying to be conservative here. So we got 69 volcanoes currently either going off or active. If I told you that 7 years ago, hey, we're going to have 70 volcanoes roughly. Let's just say 70 because I don't even count those other ones, right? 70 volcanoes, you would say you're nuts. Well, you're crazy. Well, here we are, 69 volcanoes, almost 70, and I'm still crazy about you. Let's get into it, shall we? Already the 20th, Karaminski, Semeru. So, Karaminski, 6,000-foot blast. Ibu, 12,000-foot blast. IBU at 12,000. Semeru, probably 14 or 15. Nevada del Ruiz, 25,000. Reventador in Ecuador, 14,000. And that was just in the last few minutes, okay? Because here's today, which is now yesterday, because, well, time flies at this channel. And get one of those. Just don't get hit by a semi. All right, here we go. All kinds of, well, huge volcanic activity all over the Ring of Fire, all through the Philippines, all over the planet. This map is sheer insanity. And even one down in Antarctica. Stromboli torrential rainfalls during the last 24 hours generated strong mud flows. Yeah, that's another side effect of this is the more ash that goes up into the air, the more water molecules we have in the air attaching to that ash. Well, that makes rain. Well, that rain then rains down on said volcano, which is covered with years and years and layers of ash. Add torrential rainfalls to thick layers of ash, and you get strong mud flows. Another side effect of all of this stuff. When the sun burps out something, well, one of the side effects is strong mud flows on volcano sides and the flanks. There we go. Karaminski. Not identifiable. Canalone, 10,000 feet. IBU, last reported. Oh, it was 12,000. How rare is my ADHD type? My doctor came up with a brand new term for it. It's not even out there yet. You haven't even heard of it yet. We got Luatobi at 9,000. Semeru, 14. There it is. Okay. Ducono, 9,000. Popocatépetl, 24,000. Santa Aguida, 13,000. Fuego, 16,000. Nevada del Ruiz, 21,000. Sangay, 22,000. Reventador, 15,000. Sabancaya and Copahu. New one on the list right there. Has some weak EMS, but it's on the list. What letter do you see there? It's like night, but with a K. Okay, that was the 18th. Here, let's do the 18th since I missed that one yesterday too. Here, double up really quick on our volcano report. Get one of those. Just don't hit a squirrel. You might total your car. The other day it was Karaminski, Sakurajima, Suwanosejima, Ibu at 11,000. Yeah, the other day I had one of these things all over me. 11,000, Luatobi 9, Semeru 14, Ducono 9, Popocatépetl 19, Santa Guido 13, Fuego 16, Nevada del Ruiz 21, Sangay 20, Reventador, we have Sabancaya at 24. These are the lists of insanity Am I making you laugh? All right, good. I try to sometimes. That's the only way I can deal with my PTSD. Mm-hmm. But this is more insane than what I have. Okay, this list is more insane than Dr. IDKW TFCI. Like, what the hell does that stand for? He goes, it stands for I don't know what to call it. Oh, that's what you have, Brian. So, yeah, I figured you wouldn't know what to call it because there's no long case of it. Moving on from our volcanoes to our wonderful weather, shall we? I gotta find it here because we lost all of our little links in our wonderful little tropical tidbit transfer. All right. I'm just gonna open that up and let that play for a second. No, not your ad. I want that to play. Thank you. You guys been clicking on stuff that's not what pops up? Getting ads in the chat room now. You'll be sitting there chatting with somebody and an ad will go right over the whole chat. You're like, whoa, what's that? It says, well, you got angels around you and demons attacking you. You got nobody that believes you. You got doctors and judges and all these politicians and stuff up here. People attacking you left and right. All because they won't look at your stuff. I don't know what to call it. And you got all these clouds and stuff that look at you everywhere you go. That's got to be a little unnerving. Yeah, all eyes on me. Ugh. I'm not like one that seeks attention. I'm kind of a shy person, withdrawn a little bit. I don't like my whole life on display in the sky. Everybody looking at me. I'm a big old attention fiend. Meanwhile, back to our wonderful weather. Thank you, George. We're at October 19th. The current conditions at nighttime, severe weather coming in kind of the Canadian border up there by the Puget Sound. We also got a little bit of severe weather down here, too. Now, as we go into the morning, here we got October 20th. And what I did is I took down the one instrument I need to keep. And we'll just go right back to it. Okay, our geomagnetic forecast calling for clear on the 20th. We did have a G1 storm. I showed you the object that came off on the 17th, so we could see a little surprise geomagnetic storm. You do see this little drop. We could see a little increase coming. Hopefully I'm wrong. I don't want another storm. We don't want any at all. Okay, but from what we saw, like this thing right there, when the CME doesn't go our direction and we're not expecting an impact, this object still travels by us and it retains, that, electromagnetic radiation. And even though the CME doesn't hit us, the radiation off the object does. Yeah, it's very vital that you guys give me 5 minutes of your time, man, because it's you see how important some of that stuff was or is still. Tangent after tangent. Back to the weather. Morning of the 20th. No geomagnetic activity. So morning, there's noon, convection, the nighttime, morning of the 21st. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime, 23, noon, convection, nighttime, 24, noon, convection, nighttime, 25, convection, nighttime, 26, noon, convection, nighttime, 27, noon, convection, nighttime, 28, noon, convection, nighttime, 29. There's stuff going on down here, but it's not really getting all organized and slamming the coast, which is good. Nighttime of the 29th, morning, there's the convection of the 29th, sorry. Nighttime the 29th, morning of the 30th. noon, convection, nighttime, Halloween. The morning of Halloween, here this thing starts whipping up. And you know what Halloween's all about, right? Celebrating the dead. Convection of the 30th, nighttime the 30th, morning of the 31st. Happy Halloween. You got something striking the coast. Look at this storm back here, too. Don't let this just grab all your attention. This thing's whipping up something, too, here. Watch. That's the morning. There's noon. It really tapers off by convection. But then at nighttime, we get our QLCS. This is a, well, not negatively tilted, but it does a little bit. And this has the opportunity to kick up some spin up tornadoes on that right there. If we see that around, if that doesn't change, we could see something go like that. Then we go along into the morning, noontime of the 1st, convection. You see this low wrap up and grab a bunch of cold air up here. You get snow on the front side, thunderstorms in the middle, and then moisture on the other side. Let me zoom in really quick on this. Even if this event doesn't happen, this is a good example. Oh, come back here. Yeah, right there. The best we can get of where you would see thunder snow. Okay. You got warm, moist air wrapping up in a nice, tight circular vortex with cold air infused into it, heavy snow, severe weather, and possible thunder snow. That's where you would see thunder snow, is where the severe weather touches that blue right on the edge right there. You guys see lightning and thunder during a snowstorm up here over Wisconsin and Minnesota, or Michigan here. Meanwhile, the same effect over here in the Puget Sound. Can we scoot this over a little bit for him, Lord? Where's the slide on this? Well, over here, there's a little blue strip too on this side. So those are weather events where you're getting warm, moist air colliding with cold air up above, mixing up a nice cocktail of devastation right there. Nighttime of the 1st, morning of the 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 3rd. That's so far out there. Okay, we're done. So all that wonderful stuff. There's your solar forecast, your astrophysics, your geophysics, and now let's do some metaphysics, shall we? That means your soul, your spirit, you, and how you work. I'm not one to cry wolf, but there's a wolf. Pay attention. See it? The wolf is out on the loose. That's why it's important that we do our spiritual work and get look what they did to that gift. They just destroyed it. They took out like 2 or 3 of the missing frames, and it used to be nice and smooth. But they went and destroyed it. So where am I going with this here? See that little lion face right there? Okay. These things are popping out all over the place, looking at me, watching everything I do, everywhere I go. 7 years now, I've had all these faces in the clouds. All this activity's going on all around the world, too, not just around me where I go. But now I see it happening to other countries, and just crazy, crazy stuff in the spiritual realm taking place like it's supposed to. And, we got cell phones now that got everybody so hypnotized and looking down that you'll never see it. Just unless you look up with your cell phone and you're taking camera shots. All right, let's try getting a few images up here, and then I want to kind of check out the chat. Thank you, Hopkinson. Oh, you're going to the dentist. I will pray for you. Nothing worse than pain in your mouth. Angel Wings is here. Hey, J-Pos made it. Jimmy, thank you for being here. Cool, everybody got their wrenches. Good, good, good. Now that you all have wrenches, I want you to build a car in 15 minutes. What? You can't do it? Okay. Well, take a swing at it anyway. So here I am tonight, not feeling very good at all. Very, very hard to get over coming out of combat. Okay. But doing this show helps, and you guys help. So really quick, we're gonna play this. Turn your head to the right.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back.
It's the regular
So
20 anyway,
there's a lot
so
of activity going on
I
the
just need to
sun,
take a
but
second.
I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. And that crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head, too. And once you see that image, then we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images, and that this event, is taking place here, because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures.
All right, so just get that up really quick, show you guys this image. That's the flip book I was trying to show you that Google went and took a couple frames out of, so you can't see it clearly. So I just wanted to show that really quick, clearly. Let's clean this up and go grab a couple of good images here from the album. Okay, these are all those pictures of that day. Okay, this is not CGI. This is the clouds doing this. Okay, not HARP. This is the spiritual realm showing up in your clouds. Okay, I showed you the lion face. I showed you these other faces. This is my face showing up now in the clouds with a crown over it. And this happened back on Easter. A 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. And it all stems from what I've been through and what I'm still continuing to go through. Okay. This latest round was, well, how do I put this? Can't really tell you exactly. I could tell you like a scenario or like a parable. Imagine if you were helping somebody move out of their house, right? So you drop your plans for the day to help a friend move from a house to another house, right? And in the course, your best friend asks, "Hey, I will help you." So you got your best friend who offers to help you and make this move. So then the two, my friend and my best friend, get in a fight, over how to load the stuff. Then we switch to working on a car that leads to going to the pull yard where we don't get the parts for the car. We end up getting something else for somebody else. And the whole venture turned into somebody else's tangents, right? Their wants and their needs, what their plans were, and the sacrifice of the time, dropping what I'm doing to help gets lost. The sacrifice of, trying to help gets lost in there. And it kind of gets on. Okay. And much like what happened here before, I've been going through understanding how people will poop on your sacrifice, right? And it hurts internally. It really kind of stings when people don't understand. Hey, I'm a shattered body. I'm almost paralyzed. I'm helping you move in extreme pain, lifting boxes, and you're gonna argue with my other friend here because he doesn't stack it the way you want it. Hey, we're both sacrificing our time to help you. You're inconsiderate, inappreciative, very self-centered. Okay, so that's what we got to watch out for, are people who are self-centered. Okay, we are selfless. We try to give and instead of receive. So out there trying to help and give, people will take advantage of that, and then you will get hurt in return. So you're gonna be wishing, like, your family members, your loved ones are gonna start saying some weird things, or maybe they're not weird. Maybe you're just finally hearing it now. Like this new way of hearing things starts happening. And it's so, you'll hear it in everybody and everything, and it's so bad you'll almost want to like stab out your eardrums and wish you couldn't hear. You wish you couldn't hear people talking sometimes, and you just go, oh, I can't believe what just came out of that person's mouth. They have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, so you're going to come up against this, all right? I'm experiencing this stuff ahead of you so I can give you hot off the street my notes. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to swing away at it, all right? I'm not the best form tonight, and I'm trying my best here, so I think this is the one I wanted. I thought there was one other that was on top of that. Nope. Okay, I guess we start right here. All right, everybody. As you see this image right here, and you see how the lion shifted, it's all of these images stacked on top of each other in a flip book. Pretty simple stuff, okay? It's like drawing a cartoon book at home. You just take all the pictures and stack them on each other and go through it image by image, and it creates that little flip book of that image that you saw, okay? And this has been haunting me all the way up to it and still since. So that's your foundation right there. It's important that you understand what happened there. And then also let's pull up this one by the moon really quick. One of the latest images captured of my face again, out by the moon, minus the ads for your drone this, drone that. We're all going to be droned to death. Wonderful, huh? All right, here's my face here showing up out by the sun. The video that describes all this is in the leading up here, but we've already seen that. All right, so we're going to stick with that face for the moment, and this one right here. So back to this, and let's start reading. All right, everybody take a deep breath, because it's really about trust, okay? In this time right now, look around. Can you trust your media? Can you trust your politicians? Can you trust your YouTube channel? Who can you trust? Can you trust me here at this channel? Does this look like real pictures? Do you think this is real activity? Because it is. So you got to learn to trust me. Okay. This is excruciatingly painful to capture these images. And if you learn to trust me, really trust me with your whole being, then nothing can separate you from my peace. Everything you endure can be put to good use by allowing it to train you in trusting me. This is how you foil the works of evil, by growing in grace through the very adversity that was meant to harm you. Okay? The very things that were meant to harm you, you grow in grace by forgiving. Okay, they know not what they do. They have no idea that this is spiritual warfare. The craziness that comes flying out of people's mouths is going to make you want to stab your own eardrums. I wish I didn't hear that. And you're going to have to forgive them because they know not what they do. And everything you endure can be put to good use by allowing it to train you in trusting me. This is how you foil the works of evil. By growing in grace, by growing in forgiveness through the very act or the very adversity that was meant to harm you. Joseph in the Bible is a prime example of this divine reversal when he declared to his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Because it's grooming you, it's creating character. You're growing stronger by overcoming this adversity. And you have to forgive them, even though they say the one thing that you just, I can't believe that just came out of your mouth at that moment. You really went there. You're going to have to forgive them, because that's how you foil the works of evil, is by forgiving the very adversity that was meant to harm you. It sounds simple, but it's really hard to do. Okay, especially when it just comes out of nowhere, right when you're at your lowest too. Right when you're down, it's going to kick you. So you're going to have to foil the works of evil by forgiving the very adversity that was meant to harm you. So with that in hand, it's important that you take that and do not fear what each day brings. Okay, when you have this tool that any evil can be foiled by the very adversity, by forgiving the very adversity, right? So now you can not fear each day. You can concentrate on trusting me and on doing what needs to be done. And we're playing games. It's time to do what needs to be done. What are you waiting for? Better weather? It's not getting better. Concentrate on trusting me and on doing what needs to be done. Not a bunch of dumb stuff, important stuff. Then, once you've found what's important and what needs to be done, then you can relax in my sovereignty, remembering that I go before you as well as with you into each day. And I tell you, fear no evil, for I can bring good out of every situation you will ever encounter. Every situation you will ever encounter. Okay. And I know we long for a lot of these problems to go away. Okay. But do not long for the absence of problems in your life. It's an unrealistic goal. Do you hear me? Do not long for the absence of problems. Don't wish all your problems to go away. It's an unrealistic goal. And since in this world you will have trouble, you have an eternity of problem-free living reserved for you in heaven. Okay? So this is a small time increment compared to eternity. You will have trouble in this world, but you have an eternity of problem-free living reserved for you in heaven. And you can rejoice in that inheritance, which no one can take away from you. But do not seek your heaven here on earth. Begin each day anticipating problems, asking me to equip you for whatever difficulties you will encounter. Okay? I got caught up. I expected things would just go the way they should go when you're helping somebody pack. But I was anticipating things to go smooth instead of anticipating problems. So begin each day anticipating problems, but asking me to equip you for whatever difficulties you will encounter. Okay, you're going to have there's a bumpy road no matter where you go. You're going to need some shock absorbers. So ask me to equip you for that bumpy road. Okay. Begin each day anticipating problems. That way you're already geared up. You're asking me to equip you for whatever difficulties you will encounter. And the best equipping is my living presence. Do you understand? It's no good if I'm dead, if I'm not here on this planet walking around with you, right? But if I am, my living presence, when you're in the flesh and you're walking around, that's when you're alive, right? It's when you pass away and you're no longer residing in your flesh that you're dead. So in order to be a living God, I must be alive in the flesh, walking around. That's the best equipment, is my living presence. When you hold on to the fact that I am here, that I am real, you're looking at me in the clouds, you're caught up really with my voice, with my face in the clouds, with my notes here. The best equipment is my living presence. My hand that never lets go of yours. How about that? How about that? Hold on tight to my hand that never lets go of yours. That's your best equipment. Now, discuss everything with me. Take a lighthearted view of trouble, seeing it as a challenge that you and I together can handle. And remember that I am on your side and I have overcome the world. Okay? By this foundation, I've overcome the world. You can too. This is your foundation. This is how you overcome the world. I had the connector to. Oh, all right. Here's where I struggled too. Okay, because I got this OCD, ADHD. Oh my God, I don't know what to call it, is what the doctor says. And I like to do things a certain way. I want them perfect. I want them just a certain way, and I like them perfect, right? And when it don't come out the way I want it, I beat myself up. How many of you out there beat yourself up? Let me give you another scenario. Say you're a cook, right? And you're cooking dinner for your family, right? And it's you want to wow them with your talents or something, you're trying to provide a meal for your family, and it costs a lot of money for your groceries to cook this meal, and you burn it. And you destroy it. Nobody can even eat it. And then you get hard on yourself, right? I have a really bad habit of being hard on myself, all right? And you guys do too, because you get it from me, okay? And it's a natural thing. It's like how you're designed, all right? And it's something we have to work on, is do not be so hard on yourself. See, I can bring good out of your mistakes. Your finite world and your finite mind tends to look backward, longing to undo decisions you have come to regret. Well, we all know you can't do that, right? You can't go backwards in time. You cannot undo decisions you have come to regret. Okay, so we're getting into this thing, regrets. Quit looking backward. Quit being so hard on yourself. Remember, I bring good out of your mistakes. Longing to undo your decisions that you have come to regret is a waste of time and energy, leading only to frustration. And boy, have I been in this knot of frustration. And I practice this as hard as I can. I try to walk my walk. And even with this foundation, it is still a bumpy road. And when you command perfection out of yourself, you're hard on yourself when you make mistakes. And it's frustrating. That's where my frustration, I get frustrated in myself. I'm not really frustrated with the other people. It's me. It's me. I'm the problem. I have to deal with my issues. I can't change other people, so I got to change my perspective on them, because trying to undo this is a waste of time and energy, leading to frustration. So instead of floundering in the past, release your mistakes to me. Go ahead, let go of them. Release them to me. Quit carrying around that backpack full of rocks. Oh, there's another regret. I should have done that. Throw it in the backpack, and poor me, I should have done this. I should have done that. And you're regretting this and regretting that. It's a waste of your time and your energy. Quit doing it. Quit floundering in the past. Release your mistakes to me. See this? Look to me. Look at this. Look to me. You see that? When you look to me in trust, look to me in trust, anticipating that my infinite creativity can weave both good choices and bad ones into a lovely design. Did you know your good and your bad decisions and your choices can be woven into a lovely design? Is this picture not made up of black and white? Well, black could be the negative, white would be positive, but woven together, well, now it creates an image that you can see, right? With hints of gray, little shades of black and white, shades of gray. So even your mistakes can be woven into this lovely design. Okay, and because you are human, I know I'm human too. And because you are human, you will continue to make mistakes. Thinking that you should live an error-free life is a symptomatic of pride. Okay, so your error-free life, that's not going to happen. And thinking that you should live an error-free life, that's a symptom of pride. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. You're not going to learn from anything other than a mistake. So you should embrace your mistakes. Quit trying to live this error-free life, which is just a symptom of pride. See, your failures can be a source of blessing, humbling you and giving you empathy. What does it do? Your failures humble you and give you empathy for other people in their weaknesses. You can relate. Hey, I was there once. I see that weakness. I can relate. I can help you. You know what? I found a foundation that helps me. I found a way of salvaging my day, and it works. I found peace and happiness, even if it's a bumpy day. By the end of the day, I can do it. and thinking that you should live this perfect day every day, this error-free life. You're just delusional if you think that's going to happen. Your failures are a source of blessings. They humble you and give you empathy for other people in that same predicament, in that same weakness. Now, best of all, get this, best of all, your failure highlights your dependence on me. Sound crazy, but that's what highlights your dependence, is your failure. So your failures actually are highlights. They highlight your dependence. That's awesome. And I am able to bring beauty out of the confusion of your mistakes. So trust me and watch to see what I will do. That's the other one. We close with that. Oh boy, I guess we got a couple more to go. You guys still with me? Okay, good. All right, so I got this other one that connects, but we got two more in between that are gonna squeeze in here because when difficulties come at you, especially when you're in a awkward place and you're not really feeling it at the moment, and here comes another difficulty, you want to run from it and you just want to resist. You're just not right now. I'm not in the mood right now, but you can't. So do not resist or run from the difficulties in your life. These problems are not random mistakes. Okay, the difficulties in your life are not random mistakes. They are hand-tailored blessings designed for your benefit and growth. Your hand-tailored blessings designed for your individual benefit and growth. Embrace all the circumstances that I allow in your life, trusting me to bring good out of them. View problems as opportunities. Okay, I want you to view your problems now as opportunities to rely more fully on me. Sounds simple, just hard to apply, especially in the heat of the moment. Okay, and that's just it. You get caught up in the heat of the moment sometimes, just like you get caught up with me in the clouds here. You can get caught up in the heat of the moment, and that will get you stressed, right? And it's hard to get away from that stress and remember that these are hand-tailored blessings. Embrace all the circumstances that I allow in your life. View those problems as opportunities now. So no longer do you have problems in your life. I just got rid of every problem in your life just now, because they're not problems, they're opportunities. And don't resist or run from them. They're opportunities. Don't resist and run from your opportunities. Okay? View your problems as opportunities to rely on me more fully. And when you start to feel stressed, let those feelings alert you to your need for me. Okay? The stress feelings get you going, and it's supposed to alert you for your need for me. I get caught up so many times. I have to practice this multiple times a day, and I still get caught up. So when you start to feel stressed, let those feelings alert you for your need for me, and thus your needs become doorways to deep dependence on me and increasing intimacy between us. Okay? When you open those doorways of dependence on me, then you see the answered miracle, your answered prayer then you get increasing intimacy between us. See, I know you, but you're getting to know me. And although self-sufficiency is acclaimed in this world, reliance on me produces abundant living in my kingdom. Now, it's going to sound weird, but thank me for the difficulties in your life, because now they're no longer difficulties. They are hand-tailored blessings. So thank me for the difficulties / hand-tailored blessings in your life, since they provide protection from the idolatry of self-reliance, or the your self-interested people, the selfish versus the selfless. Okay. So thank me for the difficulties in your life. They're actually hand-tailored blessings that are designed for your benefit and growth. And then they provide protection from your selfishness, your own selfishness. We got to kill that. We got to kill the selfishness in us. We got to become selfless. So, again, thank me for your problems. Sounds strange, but thank me for your problems, because they're no longer problems, right? They're opportunities. And as soon as your mind gets snagged on a difficulty, which is a blessing, hand-tailored for you. So when your mind gets snagged on the blessing, the difficulty, will bring it to me with thanksgiving. Thank you for the difficulty. What? Yeah, thank you for the difficulty. It makes me stronger when I overcome it. Oh, that's how this works. Yep. So as soon as your mind gets snagged on a difficulty, bring it to me with thanksgiving, and then ask me to show you my way to handle the situation. Ask me to show you my way to handle the situation. View the situation from my perspective, from this perspective, from the perspective that it's not a difficulty, it's a hand-tailored blessing, okay, and that your problem is not a problem, it's an opportunity. And the very act of thanking me releases your mind from its negative focus. See, you were on a negative path. You had a negative focus and you didn't know it, but thanking me during your difficulty takes your mind off of it. It releases your mind from its negative focus. And as you turn your attention to me, the problem fades in significance and loses its power to trip you up. Okay, let me hold right there. As I was saying prayers before this show, I really did not want to do this. I'm not feeling too hot. And I was thanking him for, even though it was a rough day, at least we had nice weather. I still got a roof over my house. I still got this. I started doing my thankfuls. And it released my mind from the negative focus. And the problems started to fade. They started to lose their power. And then it reminded me, well, Jesus didn't feel like going up on the cross, but he did it anyways. He was at the lowest point, getting kicked and down, and still didn't feel like doing it, but just did it, swung away, swung at it anyway. Even though we're going to die, we're just going to try, we'll swing away at it anyways. And when I think of that, then it's like, well, I'm not feeling like that. I can do this show. It's not that hard. After he went through that sacrifice, if I didn't do this, that would be shitting on his sacrifice. And somebody just shit on my sacrifice, and I didn't like that. So there's no way I'm going to do, not do a show because, I'm trying not to do a show when I'm not feeling good. Well, he wasn't feeling good that day either, okay? So I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to swing away just because he did too, all right? And that releases my mind from the negative focus and turns the attention back to me. The problem fades in significance and loses its power. Okay? I was out there praying together. I don't make this show alone, okay? I have help. All right? Together we can deal with the situation, either facing it head on or putting it aside for later consideration. But most of the situations that entangle your mind are not today's concerns. You have borrowed them from tomorrow, haven't you? We got regrets in the past. We're future tripping too, and we're got all these problems in the future that we're entangling our mind with. So most of the situations that entangle your mind really aren't today's concerns. You're future tripping. And in this case, I lift the problem out of today and deposit it in the future where it is veiled from your eyes. It is a place I give you my peace, which flows freely from my plate, from my presence. So I lift the problem out of today and put it in the future. What you're tripping about right now, you can't change right at this moment. Be in the moment and let tomorrow play out as it plays out. What else do I have? Oh, this is the one I want right there. Is that what we close with? Yeah. I guess we'll just do this one. Where's the one with the heart? Well, we'll just do that one. Okay. So, learn to relate to others through my love rather than yours. Okay. Relating to others, you can't change other people. So when you relate with them, you're going to have to forgive them. Okay. A lot of people don't have the right perspective on things. Okay. They've been warped and twisted by this world. So when you're relating to others, relate to them with my love, this unconditional, forgive them, they know not what they do type love. Okay. Because your human love is ever so limited. It's full of flaws and manipulation. My loving presence, which always enfolds you, is available to bless others as well as you. So instead of trying harder to help people through your own supplies, through your own strength, become aware of my unlimited supply, unlimited strength, which is accessible to you continually. Did you know that? Did you know that my unlimited supply and my unlimited strength is accessible to you continually? So, when you understand that that's continually, let my love envelop your outreach to other people. When you're outreaching to other people, let my love envelop that, and you'll be right on track. Most of you guys are doing this anyway, so. What else? Okay, we're going to close with this right here. So, a lot of people follow people on Facebook, follow this, and well, you follow me on YouTube. You've subscribed, you watch my videos, you listen, so you're a follower on YouTube, which would be one of my children. You would, if you follow me, well, then you're one of my children, right? You got the new perspective. You are complete. So you are one of my children. Okay. And where did I get that last one? Many of my precious followers, my precious people that give their precious time, that word precious again, many of my precious followers, my precious children, have fallen prey to burnout. A better description of their condition might be drain out. Do you guys feel drained? Have you feeling worn out, drained out, burned out? Or countless interactions with needy people have drained you without your conscious awareness. You are among the weary ones who are like the wounded soldiers needing R&R, rest and relaxation. Let me say that again. Countless interactions with needy people have drained you, and you're not consciously aware of it. You are the weary ones. Okay, refer to the weak and the weary. That would be you guys. Yep, the weary ones. And like a wounded soldier, not just a normal soldier who slices potato in the cafeteria. No, this is a soldier who's in combat that's wounded. You are among the weary, wounded soldiers needing rest and relaxation. So take time to rest in the love light of my presence, and I will gradually restore you the energy that you have lost over the years. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and you will find rest for your soul. And that's it for tonight. Hopefully you guys grabbing this and using it. And I know most of you are. I'm talking to people mainly in the replay have found something here. And if you haven't, don't leave before the miracle happens. Ask some of the people here in the chat or in the comments, or keep sticking around until this sinks in. This is indeed your foundation, okay? This is me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. Happened on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. Coming in the clouds with power and great glory. When you see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory, you will be caught up with me in the clouds. It's like being caught up in a good song, or being caught up in that little reading that we just did there, where you found peace that transcended your circumstances. We got rid of every your problems. All your mistakes are gone. Your past is cleaned up. Your future's looking good. We just took care of that a few minutes ago, didn't we? And like a good book, like a good YouTube live stream, you're caught up in it. Caught up like a good song. You're caught up with me in the clouds. And if you're caught up with me in the clouds, well, I went and made a place where I am, you can be also, here at this channel where I live stream, and we can meet in the air of cyberspace, where you will be caught up with me in the clouds. You get it? Are you guys figuring this out yet? Good. Most of you are, and you are finding indeed how full and rich life can be. How full and rich life can be. You guys hit the lottery. Did you know that? You're richer than anybody else on the face of the planet. They got gold and silver. You have eternity. And you got me. You got your foundation right here. Okay? And even when I'm not in the best form and I don't want to do this, I do it anyway. I just swing away. It might not be the best performance tonight or whatever, but I'm going to do it anyways because I love you guys and I can't leave you guys hanging. All right. I know you miss me in return and you like to hear my voice. So I got to get back on here every once in a while and touch base with you guys, let you know that you're all right. I'm all right. I still love you. You're doing fine. It doesn't feel like it, but you're doing awesome. Okay. Try not to beat yourself up too much. All right. This is progress, not perfection. Okay, here's perfection. When we make the collage of all your overcomings, where you overcame that, you overcame this, we make this collage, that's when we see perfection. Okay. But in the meantime, we're handcrafting you, hand tailored with your unique difficulties and circumstances. And they may seem insane at sometimes, and you're going to have to practice the forgiveness, they know not what they do, especially when you hear some shocking stuff coming out of, well, some people that you thought you knew. It could be family, could be friends, could just be coworkers, could be anybody. You're just going to be shocked at what you hear out of some people, and you're going to be like, oh, I wish I could unhear that. But you can't go back and take it back. Some of us will say stuff in return that we regret. I got caught in that one. I was like, oh, it made me upset. And I said something that I regret, but I can't go back and change it. But I learned from it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to include that in the show so my children don't get caught up in that evil. Okay. Learn that you overcome evil by forgiving the very adversity that you're up against. You take away its power and you grow stronger from it. And some of you are out there just kicking ass and taking names. All right. So I'm so thankful for that. This is not about, hey, look at me. I'm all this. Look what I discovered. No. This is about, hey, look at me. I'm here. I'm in the clouds. You can see me coming in the clouds. I'm already here. Breaking news. Already here. Breaking news. Already here. Closer than you think. Like maybe possibly here talking to you right now. I love you guys. You're caught up with me in the clouds where I went ahead and made a place where we could be, where I am, you can be with me, live in the air of cyberspace. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I'm not sure when I'll get my next show going. I will do it if I don't feel like doing it, but sometimes I just don't have the time. I have so much going on that I can't do it. So bear with me as I go the best I can through this, and I'll just keep swinging away the best I can. Even though I don't want to do it, I got to do it because, well, he did it when he didn't want to do it. So that's what we got to do. All right. Sometimes there's stuff in life that we don't want to do that we got to do anyway. Right. So buckle down, get her done. Remember the important things. Quit dwelling on your past, quit future tripping, focus on being with me, and we will accomplish everything. You can accomplish anything. Okay. Oh, thank you, Don. It's good to be back. It's just hard. Okay, I'm sure it's like PTSD. You had post-traumatic combat disorder thing going on. So I got to get more rest. A hot shower would be nice. Some food, basic necessities that people used to live on, So I got to get rested up, fed up, and feeling a little bit better. And I'll be back as soon as I can, all right, with another show. I'm already back, by the way. You should see the signs all over the world. When you see this, when you see earthquakes in diverse places, when you see wars and rumors of war, when you see signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, look up. Get off your freaking phone when you're driving. Look up in the clouds and get caught up with me in the clouds. Okay? It's the real deal. And you guys are the real children of God. The more you trust in me, the more you receive in return. That's how it works. It's proportional. A little bit of trust, well, that's a little bit of peace. Full trust, you get full peace. It may be hard to achieve. We have to work at it. You got to salvage your day. Some days are rough. Some weeks are rough, right? You could go 100-hour stint where it's just nothing but straight on combat, okay? And it's unrelenting, and you have to be able to fight through it. And this is the foundation that gives you the strength to keep fighting through this, okay? All right, you're all building character. You see your heavenly destiny approaching, okay? You see the finish line, okay? This is your redemption drawing nigh. Your redemption, that's your redeemer. Your redeemer would be your redemption, right? Well, there's your redeemer. Drawing nigh means he's getting near. Well, you could pretty much say he's here in the clouds, right? And he went and made a place in the air where I am, you can be too. I sure miss you guys. I love you guys. I have so much going on that I just keep going, all right? And I'll try to squeeze in as a show when I can, all right? Thank you for enduring it. It was my best show, but hopefully you enjoyed, okay? And you learned something. You get some peace out of this and courage and hope, okay? I've been through a lot, and it's just trying to bring some hope to you guys out there during these times. Because I see what's going on out there. I hear all the prayers. I know exactly what people are thinking, what's going on in everybody's heads, and you're going to need this, all right? And just remember, overcome evil by forgiving the very adversity itself, okay? And when it doesn't work out your way, just progress, okay? Just remember, don't be so hard on yourself. We're making progress, not perfection. Perfection will be in the collage when we're done, okay? That's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. And I am still to come, okay? No matter who wins the election, no matter who goes to war, I am still to come. I'm already here. And you guys are front row, VIP, backroom pass, VIP pass, backstage with the best person to be backstage with. Understand how that kind of works too? You guys got like the VIP pass? Kind of makes you the elite and the other people the scum. Not the other people, the other elite that call themselves elite. Make them... yeah, I gotta go, you guys. I love you. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Can't you tell? Bye.